All right, guys, welcome back to the Your Invisible Advantage podcast. It's me, T, and we are joined with a guest today, my first ever official guest, and who else but to bring on than my really good friend, Travis. So I'm so excited to have you here. If you guys have been in the personal development world, the online coaching space, you will know Travis. And if you don't, I don't know what you're doing. You should know him. So you will go and follow him after this episode, I'm sure. But Travis, welcome. Thank you for being here today. And today, Travis and I take a very similar stance on all things business building, personal branding, authenticity, being a human who is also coaching humans. So today we're going to have a real conversation around growth, evolution, failures, fuck-ups, all these different things that it's kind of like the unspoken conversations that no one's having but everyone's feeling. And I really like that that's how Travis and I have a friendship where we do talk about those things. So Travis, introduce yourself because you are going to do a better job than me.
Hey, thank you, first of all, for that introduction. Holy crap. It's actually an honor to come here as your first guest and that first in person as well. It means a lot to me because it makes me feel like you feel safe with me, which is,
100%.
I guess.
That's the reason you're here.
Yeah,
I'm like, who can I be safe with?
And if anything, that's the best way for people to hear why people work with me, because if you feel safe enough to do something as terrifying as a podcast for the first time in person and guest, then that goes to show why it is my presence is what helps me get the results I do. For anyone wanting to know, I help people break the patterns that hold them back in business, money, relationships, love, career, athletes going through shit. It's those underlying little patterns and shadows that hold you back that you can't even see or feel, but they're playing out and I see them. Now, whether you want to say I see them because I've worked through it for the last 8 years of my life, or it's because I'm neurodivergent and I see patterns, or I'm spiritual and I see energy, whatever it might be, I can literally hear it, feel it, and see it in your body when you speak. I know what's holding you back and I can tell you within 10 seconds what's going on. Now, it's a gift, yes, but for myself, it's been a mission because I self-analyze myself every single day, but it's what makes me the best at what I do because I've done things that I've taken myself to depths that allow me to take everyone else to where I am too. So the work goes fast, it moves deep, but the results that I get are pretty insane and I've got the testimonials to show that. So for anyone wondering why you need to listen today, you can only imagine what I've helped people move through. And I'm really excited to help anyone that's listening today to a degree that I can.
Amazing. I love this. And Trav has really transitioned and I've just been watching him flourish and grow and take up a lot of space online. And I really love you're just coming more and more into yourself. And we always say this to each other, but real sees real. And there's so many, I mean, like this isn't to shit on other people, but there's just so many people who are that false persona online. But when you meet someone who you can just tell, it's like you feel their energy, you can tell that they are so real. That's something I admire. And I don't really have role models, but I do have people I admire. And I do have people I respect, and that would be you. So hence why I want you on here, because you can help my community. And I know that this will be really helpful for everyone. And your work is so impactful. So thank you. We just hyped each other up for a
let's just keep doing this for the next hour.
Let's do that for an hour.
But likewise, dude. Like,
your turn, you go.
Yeah, likewise. What I want to say about you, but honestly, it is. It's real recognizes real. And I think the more that we do that, the more that we meet up and people like ourselves, the energetics that come from that and the conversations that come from that will resonate with the right people. And we need more of that because, again, like you said, there are some people that aren't doing it the right way. And sometimes, well, from what I see and what I do, I know those people are doing the best they can.
Yeah.
A lot of them are troubled themselves and they haven't done the deeper work, which I'd love to work with them,
Hire me.
And some people are just people, they do their thing. We've got those, what you might say, those narcissistic tendencies and self-absorbed, all this sort of stuff. But again, it's all based off who they were in a younger life.
Oh, you just hit something. This is not on my run sheet, but we're going with it.
There.
What you just said there is like, that is, it's almost like the part of people where it's like, that's who they've had to be at some point, right, to survive. But because of their insecurities, that is what, and I speak about this all the time. If you want to be confident, if you want to be seen as an authority, if you want to be seen as someone that people pay or a personal brand that people will follow, what's the number one thing you have to do? It is to be so comfortable in yourself that you are not focused on yourself any longer. You are now focused on other people. And the most influential people are the most comfortable people with themselves. They still have insecurities. They still have things like that, but they're not run by it. So like those no longer run us, which is why we can now help other people. So it's like, what's your take on that when you speak to authenticity? It's like, do you see that a lot in people that you work with? Do you feel that in yourself, where it's like you're no longer, like, yes, you have insecurities, but you're no longer that insecure that it's all focused on you. You can now focus your energy outwards?
This is the best way to start this conversation, because we know at the core of everything, people online running a business, this is what's going to hold them back and allow them to build more worth, wealth, everything that they want, authority. We speak about that a lot, where people think they have to perform authority. It's like, no, you become an authority by being you. You know, it's like, so absolutely. It's funny that we're talking about this, because only recently I come up to your hometown by myself only 2 weeks ago to go through probably my biggest wound I've ever gone through. So I've been doing this work for 8 years, really deep for 5 years. But when I talk about shadow work and actually feeling your feelings, a lot of people don't do that. And you have to actually be with yourself. I went away because I was sitting there in the car about to meet with some friends, and I was going to go into just a local RSL and have a couple of beers and just chill. Every part of my body was frozen. I couldn't get out of the car. And I felt this thing screaming at me saying, we don't want to go in there. We don't want to talk to people we know. You're on holidays. You're on 5 weeks off. Don't go in there. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I started crying. And this emotion that was stuck in my gut came up and said, you need to go away for 4 days by yourself and let this move. So when those things happen, people are probably thinking, what do you mean? I understand that sounds crazy. But this is how this work works. Yeah. And I just listened. I booked an Airbnb within 30 minutes. The closest one was literally to one, but it had to be like hours away. So I didn't get a chance to come home.
Yeah, yeah.
So I drove home to the Airbnb that afternoon. And what proceeded for 4 days was insane. But the main one, when we talk about me being my authentic self, I've never been so authentic, because on the first day of this time away, I wake up on the first morning and I'm sitting there having breakfast and I'm just watching like Jurassic Park.
Love that. That's
Can you tell I'm autistic?
Series, does that mean I am
Dinosaurs? Hell yeah. And I'm sitting there watching this sick like YouTube thing, and I'm just eating breakfast. And because I'm with myself, I don't have clients messaging. I told them 5 weeks, don't fucking talk to me. My partner, hey, just let me be in this. Because I gave myself space to move and work through whatever was coming up, it came up. And what came up, and I'm probably going to get emotional because it's still pretty raw, is I realized, Tay, most of my life people have hated me because I exist. What I mean by that, for anyone that can't see me right now, I'm a big dude. Like, I'm 6'5" and like 150 kilos. I'm a big personality.
For reference, when he walked in, I said the Hulk has arrived.
It's been my whole life. Like, I was literally this size by the time I was 2 years old. So you can only imagine that everyone around me, especially men, compared themselves to me because I exist. I never asked for any of this. I was very talented at everything I did. Football, soccer, whatever it was. I pick up a ball and I'm good at it. I pick up a game, I'm good at it. But what I recognized was even my own little brother disliked me because I was the golden child. And that right there was the wound that held me back in every single way. Because if I'm the golden child and everyone expects me to be good, but then everyone hates me because I'm good, I held myself back. I didn't want to be hated. I'm such a kind person. And yet, no matter what I did, Tay, people fucking hated me. And all I was trying to do was live. And yet, as kind as I was, as nice as I was to everyone, because I was, they just couldn't stand me. So if I was playing a game, I'd be shit at it so no one hated me more. I wouldn't score that try because I'm like, I don't want the boys to hate me. I've already scored 6 tries. I don't want to score 10. They'll fucking talk shit about me. And I understand people are probably listening. It's like, how can you hate being good at everything? Well, you didn't live my life. You don't know what it's like to have expectations in every single thing you do. As soon as I woke up, I had expectations to be good. I had expectations to be really fucking good at everything. Don't waste your talents, Trav. So how do you think it felt when I quit the Broncos at 17? I went against everything. But what unfolded and what's led to now in that moment and me sitting there, and when you do the work, like when you think about doing the work, I sat there for 45 minutes wailing. This is what feeling emotion is like. I felt like I was dying because a part of me was. I was proper like proper like, and I was punching the pillows. I was screaming. I had music on. I had to move this energy that came up. And what's proceeded after this, Tay, is insane. I don't know if you've noticed, but in my stories and stuff now, I'm saying what I truly want to say.
I've noticed, and also the branding and expression of which you're doing it is coming through way stronger.
Yeah,
Like
and
way
I feel
stronger.
that.
You can feel that. But I think that's so interesting. Rewind back for a second, because different story. I'm completely different, right? But I've had a similar thing and I've never found someone who could relate to it. And that's super interesting to me, because I've always thought I can't talk about it because it's not the usual story that everyone's had. But I had every reason to be successful, to be someone, to be smart, etc., whatever. I came from a good family, good upbringing. Everything was like ducks in a row for you to be successful, ducks in a row for you to be good. And it was almost like I felt like such a failure because I was not good at anything. It was like all the expectation, but then you don't live up to that, or you're not that, or you don't follow that. And it's like with you, I want to come back to the Broncos, right? Because people won't know that. So it's like you were, but I'll let you tell that part of the story. But what was it like to have that opportunity? Maybe explain what that opportunity is. And then to not follow through on that opportunity, to go a different path. How did you handle almost like it's like the grief and gratitude at the same time? Gratitude, like trusting yourself, moving in a different direction because that's what you feel. But grief in like all the expectation, what you were meant to do, what was laid out for you. Maybe, yeah, like how did that feel?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for seeing that. I feel that if anything, it's probably one of the biggest moments most people will go through in their life where they turn down what they think they're meant for. It tore away every part of who I am or who I thought I was. You know, it's like when we talk about authenticity, I thought I was being authentic as a football player when really that's never who I was at all. They just thought I was playing football because I'm big and strong and good. You know, it's like, you're a football player.
It's like, yes, you are destined for that.
Literally,
but it's like you can be good at something, but just because you're good, should you do it?
If you're good, should. You know, it's like, should you even have to do it? There's so many shoulds in this world, and that's what people are patterned by. They're like, but I should be doing this.
Yeah.
Why?
But I'm successful, but I'm making money. And it's like, yeah, but you're absolutely miserable.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but you hate the fucking work you're doing.
It's funny we talk about this because only recently I was in that studio next door talking to Cody about this, where saying no, because he asked me, what's your most courageous moment in your entire life? I'm 36 years old. That is the most courageous I've ever been, because as a 17-year-old who's extremely shy, anxious-ridden, depressed because he knows he's about to give up everything that he's ever had. He's about to say no to his father, who spent years getting him to this point, hundreds of thousands of dollars, driving to every one of his games. Shout out to Dad. And I had to say no to that 1% of young boys will get in this entire country. And it was to go play 20s down at the Broncos and literally live there in Brisbane. That terrified me, to go and be in a place where I'm already awkward around people, especially the boys, like footy boys. I was never a footy boy.
Yeah.
I love the boys. They're beautiful humans, but
you can fit in anywhere.
Yeah, but I just wasn't.
Like that's not where your heart is.
I was an extremely emotional kid that did art and drama.
Yeah.
None of the other boys are doing that, you know. And they all accepted me. They all loved me. I was part of it, but I always felt different. So yeah, the power in saying no, it was so like, dude, yes, you did it. As terrified as I was, I still did it. But the grief, holy crap, I don't think I got over that for 10 years. So what followed was 10 years of just like trying to find myself. My first job after that was working at the local IGA. How shit do you think I felt?
Yeah.
Worthless as a man.
The backwards feeling of like, oh, I've gone backwards.
Yeah.
It's not truth, but it's that feeling that happens for you.
You can't explain the judgment you have on yourself when all your mates go on to university, trades, playing football like they were supposed to, because there was a few mates that did make the Broncos and other teams. And I was sitting there and I'm like, well, I'm a piece of shit. I live in Woodford with my parents and I'm working at IGA, barely getting by. And
this is super interesting, because what do you start to do then? You put a narrative to that there is something wrong with you.
Yeah, comparison.
It's not like we're just on different life paths. Like that wasn't what I was meant to do. It was like, well, why couldn't I make that work? If I was so good at it, shouldn't I have? Shouldn't I have stayed with that? Shouldn't I have this, that, the other? And it's like we start to put these stories and then all of a sudden you're this anomaly who you're special, which you are special. We think we're special in the fact of like, well, I fucked that up. If everyone else can be successful doing that, it's like business. This happens, right? content, social media, people are posting and it's working for someone else. And then maybe it works for them, but they don't enjoy it, or they want to go a different way, or they want to transition, but they're like, but why isn't that working for me? Or why didn't I do that even though it would work and I could do it? And then they start to think something's wrong with me. So like, how do you deal with that? Or do you have clients coming to you with that? And like, what would you say in that scenario?
It's I think at the core of anyone, especially in business, this is probably the core wound that I see, is that they believe and tell themselves, why aren't I like such and such?
Yeah. 100%.
How many people have said to you, but you're this and why do you have this?
Or they got here in this amount of time, or like they're already doing this, and it's like comparison to where someone else is at, like wild.
We've all got different stories, and that's the beauty of it all. Like I was just saying to the boys before, I love going to the movies because of the stories that are told. The best stories have the most fucked up shit that happens, and then they overcome it all. You know, whether you are making $10,000 a month or $100,000 a month, doesn't matter. Are you happy? Are you fulfilled in what you're doing? Do you wake up excited about what you do? I remember hearing that saying when you're coming up and you're learning about business and entrepreneurship, and you hear these guys going, oh, money doesn't matter, and rah, rah, rah. I'm like, it's fucking easy for you to say. You know, I can't even afford my rent this week. But there's that duality of it where it's like, now that I do make good money and decent money and all these things, as good as it is, I find it so true that
you resonate.
Absolutely. The fulfillment is in what I'm doing and the life that I'm living. Like I wake up and take a little sausage dog for wee-wees in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Like,
I love it.
I'm up at like 5:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock, whatever.
Well, it's like those little moments of your day that you actually get to appreciate, where it's like everyone wants to be at the top of the mountain. It's so cliche, but like the cliches are cliches for a reason. And like I hate saying them, but I'm like, but they're so true. It's like, the top of the mountain is great, but you stay there for 2 seconds and then you're just like, all right, do we have another mountain? Like, is there something else? Like, I am actually quite cold up here. I didn't bring a jumper on. Like, it wasn't as good as I thought. Oh, fuck, it's cloudy today. Like, all these things happen where everyone wants to get to the top, but if anyone would just pay any attention, they just don't want it to be true. It's like, please enjoy that journey, because you're going to have a million mountains in your lifetime. And like for you, footy was one of them, but then you had to climb a different mountain. Like you had to make that choice. And most people would have just stayed at the top and froze to death. You know what I mean? Because they didn't want to be there, but they were like, oh, fuck, I've got to stay.
Someone told me I was supposed to climb this mountain.
I have to stay until the next group gets here.
Literally.
But it's like, says who?
Well, this is the thing. It's like either the parents said it or society said it. And people forget to say, what did I say? Or think about, what did you think? What do you actually like? Most people and a lot of clients that I now deal with are like your high performers. You're usually neurodivergent in some way, ADHD, those sort of things.
I think every entrepreneur is at
I think we have to
a
be.
little bit spicy. Like I don't think you can be an entrepreneur or anyone who's a high performer if you don't have obsession to like hyper focus on something.
Yeah, because it probably won't work. You know, it's a hard thing to stay in.
100%.
And people talk about, I'm not consistent enough. It's like, well, when you talk about consistency and discipline and all these things, that looks different too. Like for me, I've been consistent in running a podcast. It's been 4 years now. You know, I haven't necessarily been posting every week, but it's still going. And that's okay for me. Like I'm okay with that. But if I was someone that listened to what everyone else said, I would judge myself, because the typicals thing would be you have to launch every week. It's like, well, I haven't.
Or if you're inconsistent, you're untrustworthy, all this fucking bullshit. It's like, actually, no, you can actually just enjoy what you're doing and find your own cadence in life.
Well, the biggest one that probably irks me, Tay, is when you hear that whole like, how you do one thing is how you do everything, or whatever it is.
I hate that. Do you hate that as well?
Oh, it's
okay. Thank you.
I don't
feel like our brains
coach my clients the way I fold my clothes.
Literally,
there's clothes on my floor because sometimes I'm fucking lazy. But when it comes to those people,
like I'm obsessed with my business. I am not obsessed with housework.
Correct.
Do I have to be? No. It's like we're obsessed with things we love. Like you do things, you prioritize things that are important to you. And just because you're not prioritizing it and it's not important, it doesn't mean that you're a lazy piece of shit over there. Maybe just hire someone.
But maybe you are a lazy piece of shit to someone,
that's okay.
and that's okay. Like this is a great lesson for anyone listening right now that has a business. Stop trying to be for everyone.
Yeah.
This is just not going to work. And when you actually just become someone for yourself, you become someone for the people you're supposed to work with.
100%.
That's all I've done. That's why I'm successful now, is that I am now so much me and the people that I'm speaking to with my marketing and how my brand resonates now and what it makes people feel. Because people get that torn up. It's like branding and marketing is two different things, right? And they think that they have to cater to everyone. And it's like in doing that, you're doing fuck all. Like now that I speak my mind, I share my personal life, I share my opinions, I show me playing basketball, along with teaching them about the shadows, patterns, unconscious mind, everything that I do. People that love basketball are coming to work with me because they know I can do what they need, but they also really like me because I have shared interests and values.
Well, it's like me with my metal music or me with like my tattoos and things like that. It's like that's what people relate to. One girl hired me because she doesn't have tattoos. Her dad is covered in tattoos. And like that resonated with a part of her and it's like people are so scared to show these things online because they think it's like, oh, well, I have to be the prim and proper little girl or boy. I have to be what everyone wants me to be. I have to say the same thing as everyone else. I have to be exactly like everyone else and I can't put a foot out of line. And it's like I can get content wrong or I can get content right. And that's what they're thinking. And I said this to a client the other day and she just broke down in tears. I said, has anyone ever given you permission to just get it wrong? And she just broke down in tears. She's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, one, did you know that you actually can't fuck it up? But like two, if you did fuck it up, would that actually be okay? You know, what would you say to yourself? What would you be doing to yourself if that happened? And I feel like a lot of people get into that pattern and you would see this all the time with your clients where it's like they're so hypercritical on themselves that it's like this shame loop where they just keep looping. What am I shameful about today that I'm not doing enough of, that I'm not being enough of, that I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm too much of this, I'm not enough of that. Like you were saying, like literally your gifts, the things that make you you were the things that you were like, should I play that down? Should I not do that? Like, should I try to be palatable for everyone else? But it's only since you've brought that out that now your brand has always been amazing, but you can feel the up level in it. Like it's upgraded and it's like it's got new software. And it's like you've just gone to the next level in the video game, right? And it's like, how cool is that? And I think also when we get to actually, no, I want to pivot this. I was just going to take that a whole different tangent. I'm like, no, let's come back. Authenticity. Let's come back to that about how we talk about as coaches and mentors. We are human too, right? But we are holding other humans through so many big things, through them up-leveling, upgrading their life, making their life better, living to their full potential. So my question to you is, how do you manage being someone who works with high performers, being a high performer yourself, and still having your own struggles, insecurities, doubts, whatever comes up? Like you said, you just went away and a huge thing came up for you. So how do you deal with that without letting it strip your authority?
Great question. Great pivot. I love that. So you're great at this too. You're killing this.
Thanks.
that in itself will look different, I guess, to everyone, but I'll speak into how I kind of hold it. So obviously, yes, you've probably heard now that I've been doing this work for a long time. So when the energy within my body had to move, I was always doing it. So now when it does build up, because we have capacity levels within anger, sadness, grief, all these different emotions that might come up in the body, I'm making sure to express them in a safe way as often as I can. So if I feel that I've got anger, I'm making sure I'm going to the gym, I'm boxing, I'm moving that energy, I'm playing basketball, so that won't build up to a point where if a client needs to have a rage release, which I'm really good at, I don't have it built up in with myself, that then those two energies are going to clash with each other, because nervous system capacity is everything. I said to someone the other day that what clients are doing essentially for 4 months are borrowing my regulation system. Like you're borrowing my nervous system.
Well, that's what I did here.
Yeah.
Coming into this, I was nervous.
Yep.
Who do I want? A safe person. I borrow the regulation, and Justin made me feel really
Justin's
calm
awesome,
as well.
right? How calm does the room feel?
I borrowed his nervous system, you know what I mean? And like no one talks about that enough. It's like sometimes we actually need to do that. Humans are wired for that.
Yeah, I see a judgment that happens a lot within the industries where, say, as a mentor, a coach, whatever the fucking label you want to call it, you get a lot of therapists and psychologists and stuff that might hate coaches and stuff, and vice versa, where I don't care about that stuff. And I can understand why there is hate sometimes, because there are some incredible therapists that have spent years and years and years becoming who they are in a clinical, legal sense.
100%,
then you got some coaches who shouldn't be doing the stuff they're doing and they're not staying within the scope of practice.
Yeah.
But the point I'm at is that if I'm doing what I do, I'm doing this 24/7. You're not just coming to see me once a week in my little office. You have access to me at all times. So I need to be regulated as often as I can. But it's not, you hear that word all the time, like you have to be regulated.
You're not
but
regulated.
I'm not regulated. Yeah. I'm not regulated sometimes. But that's why I am amazing at what I do, because no matter whatever's going on in my life, I can still show up for my clients because of the work I've done. So I guess to answer your question, if I'm not doing things like going to the gym, talking to my partner and being vulnerable, that's such an important thing. That I've got such a beautiful fiance that just checks in with me. Be like, baby, how are you? And I'll actually tell her. I've got an incredibly close group of mates that are also coaches themselves, some of them. And we don't coach each other because that's fucking annoying. But sometimes I say, hey, bro, can I just talk? And like, yeah, cool. Lockie, shout out to Lockie. And we'll talk about our shit. We'll go through 50 different conversations in 1 hour like we do in this podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm helping myself move through things by supporting myself with saunas, gym, those things, speaking, so that when it does come to me supporting a client to the level that I do, they're not copying my shit, even though I am going through my own stuff. I make sure it doesn't leak.
Well, that comes back to the authority piece. When you're not focused on yourself, when you got yourself under control, you know how to have yourself good, you can then help other people.
Yeah.
That's where people go wrong, is they don't know how to control themselves. Therefore, they can never help another person because they're too focused on themselves. And it's like a lot of people in our position where we are working with people, they will let a lot of their internal things like leak out into their containers, and then they will be projecting that onto their clients. And I see that all the time with people. But how do you go then admitting your humanness online? Because I feel like this is something I have conversations with people about daily when it comes to brand, content, business, where we can help other people very well. And we're not the best at helping ourselves, let's be honest, right? So we have to hire to help ourselves, right? Most of the time. But how do you go with showing up online? Because what I love about you, and if you guys follow Trav, or if you don't, go follow him and you'll see this, he's very raw about what he is going through. And never once have I thought to myself, I wouldn't hire you because you shared that. You are unprofessional. You are not an authority. You are this, that, the other, whatever word vomit people want to put out there. High-level clients won't hire you. If anything, that makes me respect you so much more, because I feel like there's a level of maturity to be able to own your shit, to be able to own that you are human. And I think when people are on pedestals, which is what people do to coaches and mentors, we don't put ourselves there. People put us there. When we're the ones on it, we're like, oh, I actually understand that everyone else that I've ever put on a pedestal is just a human. So it's like having that humanness. How do you see it? I want to hear your take on it, of why do you share those things, and how do you think that they don't make you less of an authority?
I think this is a really important one. For myself, Tay, I share from such a lived, real experience, and the words I use are very intentional. I'm not trying to sound like a victim. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I'm sharing it because I want to fucking share it. I'm sharing it because I want to help you. So the intention and the energy behind how I share is everything. Because you feel
outward.
that.
That's what I'm saying. It's not inward of like, poor me, Victor.
Yeah, look at how much I'm struggling.
I need someone to validate me. It's like, no, like outwardly focused, I'm going through this. This is going to help you. Here's
like, how dare I not share this? Because I know if I share this and someone that needs this, even if it's one person, cool. And that's also my intention. I don't give a fuck if 100 people hear it or one person. Like if I walk out, I think a lot of people get caught up on that, is every post that you make, you don't need to have 1,000 people liking it. Like it's not the case. If anything, my best posts that I do that get me clients are the ones that get no interactions, because 100%. Most people don't want to signal that they're liking this shit. If it 100%. Hit, you don't want to be like, that's me.
You don't want to be like, oh, that's me.
They'll just DM me and be like, bro, that reel you posted last week fucked me up. I need you. No, they'll probably, because that's the thing. Like when I'm sharing these things, I know that that's not only helped people, I've gotten incredible responses from people that are going through it. So now they feel like we're tribal. We want to feel a lived experience. And like I see you share stuff where I'm like, fuck, Tay, thank you. And I've said this. I've responded to you going, dude, yep, same. Now I feel relatable to you. Recently, someone that shares some cool stuff is SJ. I don't know her last name, Chiaviti or something like that. SJ writes some really big things where I'm like, wow, that really resonated. I love that. And I'll tell her that, so I see the power in us connecting as humans, not, hey, can you feel sorry for me? So that feels different to people as well.
It's like vulnerability is our strength. And I think that the more that we can lead from vulnerability, personally, I think the more of an authority you are, the more that you have that internal sense of, it's like you're so comfortable with yourself that
people feel that.
People can't use it against you because you are fully owning every single part of you, everything that's happened, everything you are, everything you think, everything you be, all of your worst parts, all of your best parts. And it's like, that's why honestly, this is where my business started to feel heavy, was when I didn't do this, where I didn't share vulnerably, where I wasn't honest about how I was thinking, what I was feeling. And I tried to be this authority because that's what I was told I had to do. And I realized this at the end of 2022 when I went into 2023, and I was like, no more. Like, I built this brand off just being who the fuck I am. I didn't go to university. I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I'm the fucking most dedicated. I'll outwork any motherfucker. So it's like, I have strengths, I have weaknesses. Like, we all do. We can't be the best at everything. But I think when you can just own that to me is an authority. Yeah,
if anyone wants to take like the key line from this, vulnerability leads to relatability.
Yeah.
And we know that relatability leads to trust, and people will buy from you. I know we so many people outsource their knowledge and their greatness. And I see a lot of my clients, we work through these big, deep things, and I see them then, months later, they've joined another container, they've signed up to another certification. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Bro.
But I understand why.
But you have to let them run their patterns.
Yeah, they have to go through it. Like, pain is the best learner. And but I look at that and I go, like, if you just trust yourself and just allowed yourself to do your thing, it would come through and you'd be fine. But I can understand why people do it, because we know humans. We understand how it all unfolds. So,
well, we see someone having something and we're like, well, what am I doing wrong? They must have something I don't have.
Yeah.
But actually then and then everyone goes and hires them and gets in their world, and then they're like, oh, wait, this was exactly what my last coach told me and nothing happened. Oh, who's the common denominator? Oh, it's me. That's a hard lesson, but like, you know what? People have to learn that.
They do. Like, I've learned through...
I've learned that. Just like, hands up, guilty.
Yeah, like putting your hand on the hot stove and learning it's hot.
Literally.
Oh, shit.
But you tell a kid, is a kid going to listen?
No.
They're going to have to go touch that fucking stove themselves.
I've been touching stoves for 8 years straight. So it's like...
I'm still touching them and I'm 36.
Yeah, like you have to get in there and do the messy shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I will never say to anyone, it's like the 8 Mile method, they call it, where Eminem takes a piss out of himself first so the other battle rapper can't say anything about him that he doesn't already know.
Literally.
I got nothing to hide. People can talk shit about me all they want.
And then content is so easy. This is why people are overthinking content. They're trying to be an expert. Instead of trying to be an expert, why don't you just speak on the things that you naturally know, that you naturally do, that you be, that like, and people will be like, this is a great example of, like, let's say I see another business coach and they're saying the way to do it is ads. And I think, oh, fuck, I'm such a fraud because I don't do ads and that's not the way that I do it. Either. And then I would like to do it. If anyone wants to teach me, please reach out. But then I start to think to myself, well, shit, am I a fraud? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I'm not a good business coach if I don't do that. But we have to understand that has not been my lived experience. So I cannot speak on it until it is my lived experience. And I'm sure ads work fucking great. I would genuinely love to run ads. If I knew how to do it, I'd be doing it. But I don't know it. It's not my expertise. So it's like, my journey has been all organic. So can I make that wrong, or can I just accept that that's what I've done? It doesn't make it less than, better than. Everyone's only speaking on their experience because that's what's helped them.
Yep.
So it's like, people say intuitive eating's bad. Tracking macros is bad. And it's like, well, which one's bad? Because one will help one person, one will give another person an eating disorder.
I think the best content I've seen lately is, when people put a video up and then someone will pop their head up and go, they'll give a judgment on it or give their opinion on it.
Yeah.
I saw that video where someone popped up to give an opinion on it, and then another guy popped up giving a different opinion, and another guy. Yeah. And you're like, this is the internet.
Inception.
Everything. Yeah. It's like everyone's got a fucking opinion on something.
So I did a video yesterday on TikTok or 2 days ago, and I was talking about how I curl my hair. Okay, totally irrelevant to business, but I was like, guys, if I twirl my hair like this when it's wet, it'll dry curly. Someone comments and says, why don't you just wear your hair straight? And I was like, what? Like, and I'm like, that sums up the internet right there. Like, if I wanted to do it straight, I would do it straight. But that wasn't what I wanted to do that day. You know what I mean? It's like everyone has an opinion on everything. Something that I do want to talk about with you, which I think would be really cool. Do you like Russ?
Yeah, the rapper?
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's literally giving trauma training in his songs.
Like, we need to hire you.
Yeah.
He's like free therapy. So he did a podcast with Chris Williamson. Have you listened to it?
I've heard it. I haven't listened to it yet, but I need to.
Only listened to it this morning.
Yeah, wow.
Okay. So like fresh.
Raw. Okay, cool.
But I wrote down a question because it was something they were talking about, and this is something I have experienced. And I know we are similar stages of life. You've been having massive changes in your business coming this year.
Oh my God. I can't even share anything yet.
And that's fine. You don't need to share it. It's more so an internal process.
Yep.
What I want to look at, okay, so what they were talking about was, I'll read what I have written down. So I'm reading off my phone, FYI, guys. Okay, so have you ever noticed with your ambition and values changing as you've grown over the years? So at the start of the journey, many of us are all driven very much through insecurity. We're driven trying to achieve something, trying to get to the top of the mountain to prove we can get to the top of the mountain. We're driven by fear, insecurity. We're going to make nothing of our life. We're broken, we're a piece of shit, we're fat, ugly, whatever. We're driving to prove to ourselves that we're not that. We get success, okay? What happens when the hunger changes, when the tiger changes? So now, eventually, you are going to become that person you're trying to be. So once you become that person you tried to get to, you got to, what happens then? Because you need to find a different driver, a different motivator, a different type of hunger. And how do you keep it going without getting complacent, without feeling like, you know, I have experienced this with my business. As I turned or got into my 30s, my values change. I don't want the same business as I once wanted. Success isn't the same to me anymore. Things in my life are starting to look different. I'm starting to go through just internal things as a female. As you get older, you start to go through, which I won't talk about, but I could do another episode on that. But it's like, one, have you ever experienced that shift? And then number two is, what happens when the hunger fades and you're left with just yourself as you are without needing to now live up to something? What's that next mountain? And how do you find the will to get up it?
I love this question because it only happened last year. I achieved everything I wanted to achieve.
Same.
And I feel sorry for my coach at the time, which was Tay. She's working with this guy that the tiger had gone.
Yeah.
I didn't have that thing behind me going, you got to do this, you got to prove yourself. Because at the core of it was I was actually, and I knew it, the little boy in me was screaming to get that "I'm proud of you, son" from dad. And yet I realized it was never meant to come from him. But that happened last year where I was like, I was only ever meant to make myself proud. And it happened. This day, this moment where I'm like, holy shit, I woke up and I was like, I don't feel like I need to do anything today. That constant, I must be progressing, I must be doing, I must do something today. It just went one day.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to Tay, I'm like, I'm so sorry. You're giving me all these things to execute and take action on. I just don't have anything in me. And she was so cool about it. She was fine with it. And so I still have them all there ready to do.
Yeah.
But what I did was nothing. Tay, that my experience was when that faded, I knew that my freeze state or fight or flight had changed. And it was like this new person was coming through and emerging from the cracked ice. And I just shut down, honestly, last year. I was still coaching at a whole different level, but the depth was deeper. I was slower. I was more intentional. I just wanted to rest all the time. I was sleeping a lot. And all of a sudden, my values changed from all this, like, I want to make this much money. I want to have this much. I want to speak on stages. I want to, it all went. It was like
it's
silence.
Like when you get it, you don't want it.
Yeah, it was
it's not
silence,
that you don't want
dude.
it, but it's just like, oh.
The hustle and grind, I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I want to have 5 clients at a time, not 20.
Yeah.
And I want to charge this amount because I deserve that, because we go based off results and demand, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's how I sort of charge. If I'm getting results where someone's changing their life after one session, I think that's pretty good money to be paying, you know? So, but everything changed.
And also the level of client you want to work with as well would benefit from higher.
For anyone listening, for an example of a client I'm working with now, you know, one of them owns like a multi 7-figure business that he's connected to like famous rappers and everything. Like, and I haven't shared anything about him because he wants to stay anonymous, and I respect that. I'm like,
can we cut that out?
yeah. Like they'll see him. He's gonna reveal himself, which is cool.
Okay.
Because I was like, dude, I need a testimonial.
I need to tell someone.
Yeah. Let me, you know. Anyway,
I've had clients like that, and I'm like, can I please tell someone? They're like, no. I'm like,
they're going to be cool about it. And it's funny, I've got literally a client today flying to America because of what they've achieved with me, and it's in sports. So I'm so excited to share that, because
so cool.
and I'll tell you afterwards, but it's like 10 years I wanted this to happen. It's happened in 1 year.
Yeah.
You know, I've got access to athletes that I'd never had my wildest dreams in. But that happened because my values changed and where I wanted to go changed. So my intention and everything, my energy shifted. So I achieved it so fucking quick because I was like, I want this. I know I have the skills, I have the abilities, I have the connections. Let me put all my energy into that. And I spoke it out in public. Most people, I cop a lot of shit for this, and I've seen people say that, you know, it's shit or pathetic to share your wins and stuff before it happens, or and I can understand that and respect that people have got that. But for me personally, I've always just shared it because I love sharing things. I love being happy. I love you know, saying to people, yeah, dude, I want to make $1 million this year. So then it might, if it doesn't work out, I'll also share that. I don't give a fuck. I'll share my losses.
Russ was talking about that on the podcast. He was like,
cool.
who cares? Just fucking say it out loud. He's like, I love people who do that, like Timothy Chalamet. How he was like, I want to be the best actor. And he's like, fucking love that, dude. Like, how cool is that?
And I respect it. There's also a part of me that took in some words from a friend where it's like, you can't be telling everyone everything because they'll take the energy away from it. So there are a lot of things I hold closer now because I've been manipulated and taken advantage of by a lot of friends in business who now are not in my life because I have so much respect for myself. But I can understand that. But yeah, now I'm at a point now where I'm like, I want slow. I want calm. My goals have now changed to, I want to buy a home with my partner. I want to get married next year. And I'll share this very fucking vulnerable story. That time away in Toowoomba, Tay, oh, fuck me. I stripped back so much. Like I met myself to the depths I never thought was even possible. And on the 4th day, I was meant to come home, and I just went to the local JB Hi-Fi to get a controller. And this song came on in the car, and it fucking broke me because in that moment, everything was so raw and open in these days and times of myself that I'd realized for 10 years now, I'd unconsciously been building walls around heartbreak. I've gone through so much heartbreak with women. I've been dating since I was like grade 2. I'm a lover boy. And I didn't realize how much pain I held within my heart and my body around that. And I didn't realize that I was holding back with my current partner. And the realization was brutal. And I felt so sorry. And I cried for like a good hour, just like panic attack type shit. You know, it was so deep. And I didn't realize how much grief I hadn't felt around relationships that hadn't worked out. And I went through that and I experienced it and I told my partner. And that's when I was like, I just realized we've not had any team goals. We hadn't sat down and said, baby, look at this house. Like, let's buy this. And you know what she said to me? We were laying in bed, I think like a week after. And I know she'll be okay with me sharing this. She knows I'm the technician. She's like, you're going to share everything, you fucking pest. She said, and she was crying. She's like, I know you love me and you've been an incredible partner and you've done so much for me, but you have no idea how happy it makes me to truly feel chosen. And that broke me because I'm like, I'm so sorry I hadn't made you feel like that. But I had kindness for myself because I knew it wasn't on purpose. It was because of all the pain I'd been through. I didn't know how to. Those unconscious blocks were stopping me from truly loving my partner to the degree that she deserved. And that's why when I hear people going through stuff and they can't post a bit of content, I get it. I get it. I get that you were bullied in school. And if you were seen, your nervous system was like, shit, if we're seen and we get bullied and we nearly die, then of course we're not going to post. And it can be that deep sometimes. I get people say sometimes it's not that deep, which is not sometimes, but sometimes it is that deep. So I get it. And this is why I am as good as I am at what I do, because I see it in myself where I realized I hadn't even loved my partner to the depths that she deserved because of my own shit that I hadn't worked through. So I guess I hope that answers that in some degree, because now my whole goals and everything have changed because, yeah, I've torn myself apart to reveal the true authenticity of what I'm supposed to be living.
Are we the same fucking person? Like, what is happening?
That's why we connect, right?
Oh, because okay, firstly, thank you so much. Like, for sharing and being open and being vulnerable. This is going to help so many people. Like, that immediately just helped me hearing that. So I know that is going to help so many other people, especially people who are quite successful, ambitious, driven. Firstly, heartbreak is so beautiful. I love heartbreak because it shows the depth that you can love and that you're willing to love. And then there's like a barrier put up, which is so cool that you've been able to, I guess, like start to deconstruct that. So I absolutely just like love that for you, that you're starting to see that and work through that. With the collective goals, that is super interesting to me. And I was not even planning on talking about that. But now I'm thinking about it, that was a huge part of my value shift as well. So when me and my partner Jacob got our house together, right, I remember halfway through owning that house, we sat down and it was like a hard conversation. And he was like, what do you say? He's like, when are you ever going to think about what we're trying to achieve together, not just your business? And I was like, oh, dagger to the fucking heart. And I was like, almost like, it was like, I heard this thing and it's like a shame hot potato. And it's like in argument where you're like, okay, I feel shame. How can I give you the shame?
Yeah.
And like, I could feel myself wanting to do that. But I was like, hold on, he's actually correct. Like, yeah, I'm like, I need to hold this hot potato. Like, and it was such a big eye-opening moment for me. And then I was like, actually, we need to think about that, because I've been so selfish and only been thinking about my business and my goals and what I'm working on and my money and my this and my that and my that and my problems. And he listens to me cry and I'm like, I'm a bit of a selfish fuck. And I was like, isn't that interesting? I can be so selfless with my work, but then in my personal life, not. So like that was super interesting for me. And that was, I don't know when that was, 2023, 2024 roughly. I don't know when. And things changed so much just from that one comment. And then you start to see, oh, my business isn't my whole life. And like that changed my whole definition of what success was. And I was like, what is a collective value? I actually don't even fucking know how to do that.
So you just didn't even know,
like,
right?
I was like, is that a thing? Do we do that? Like I've never, so that was huge for me. And then, now it's really all my way that I do business, show up online, live my life, want to live my life is now dedicated to what I actually want for success for our life. Like what we want for our life. Said it again. But like I'm still learning. But like that's so cool that has been a pivotal moment for you where you're like, actually, I'm building for something different. Can I be okay that it's going to look different? And it's like the tiger just gets to look different. Yeah.
I love this conversation because I know recently I was talking to my mate Drew, and sometimes you can get so caught up in your own shit that you just don't know, right? So I don't think people are inherently evil, bad or anything. They're just brought up in a world that creates them to be a certain way. Like villains are created, heroes are created, we're born the same. But when you're into things so much, like I said to Drew at dinner, I was like, bro, you could be in a relationship and doing things that you shouldn't be doing. But to you, when this thing is so close, all you see is white.
Yeah.
But from the outside, someone sees that's a can of water.
That's so good.
So it's like when someone's in their shit, I just saw it happen with a client this morning. I'm walking on the treadmill and she sends me this massive audio about how, because I'm getting her to just stop, slow down. You don't have to work on yourself. You don't have to do all these things. You'll actually change if you stop and do nothing. She couldn't comprehend nothing. She'd never done nothing.
What is that?
Yeah. So in this audio, she'd finally like, oh my God, Trav, I realize now. So what I'm going to do is, 6 months, this. And shout out, when I'm sharing client stories, I want to have so much respect for them. And I never want anyone to feel like I'm telling them personal shit or shaming or anything like that. I tell my clients again, they understand. They know we're just championing them.
Yeah.
And their stories help people.
Yeah.
And literally halfway through this 5-minute audio, her pattern kicked in where she started with, I'm going to do nothing. And then it started coming, oh, but maybe if I just do this. And she didn't even know. And I said to her, and I tell everyone to do this, in Telegram, you sent me an audio, right? Go back, turn it into text, read it out loud. And she read it out loud to herself and she was like, holy fuck, Trav.
Wait.
I just saw my pattern literally unfold in front of me. I'm like, yeah, this is it. And this is why you and I will always have jobs. AI can't do that.
Literally.
It literally can't. I love AI. It's an amplification of who I am. This is I don't know how much time we've got, but it's like
10 minutes.
Yeah. So in that, it's like I saw that and I just reflected it. And then all of a sudden the can went from just being this white thing up here to like, holy shit, I see the can now. And now she can change that.
I love that. I had a client very similar the other day and she was like, tell it all this story. And I said to her, hold on a minute, we're actually getting lost in the story here. And I was like, if we could actually pause that and have a look at what's actually happening. And she was just absolutely shocked. She was like, I didn't even notice myself doing that. And that you sent me a list of questions that people wanted to know. We don't have time to answer them. So like, we may have to come back for part 2.
We can do a live or something or something like that.
But it was something around, and I'm not going to answer this question, although I can totally answer the question, but it was more so, it says, how important is storytelling in industries because people see them as transactional? But what that reminded me of is everything is language. Everything is done through what we say or imply by not saying. And it's like, that's what I listen to in clients. So like if a client is saying something, like indirectly they're saying something else, or they're not saying something else, or they're confirming something else that they don't even know is happening. Yeah. And everything is done through language. So to answer that question specifically, everything is storytelling. And it's so important because that's how that's how they learn. That's how we relate to the world. So do it. But I think that's so important because language is everything. And that's content. That's articulation. That's what a personal brand is how do you present yourself to the world? That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's once you're so happy to be raw in that, you become the best movie to watch while someone sits in gold class. I said to the boys before this,
that's cool.
I will always go to gold class because I love the experience. I'll get a little bit drunk. I'll eat food and we have the best time. I'm happy to spend a couple $100 to experience a movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, a good movie, cool. Imagine if you're that brand, you're that online business, you're that online coach. If your story's shit, no one's going to buy gold class and buy food to sit there and be within your space.
Like if you're just perfect and at the top, like where's the villain?
Boring.
Yeah, boring.
Yeah, I'm getting out of this place. Let's fucking walk out. I've walked out of movies before.
But no one likes someone when like there's just all they're doing is saying how good they are. It's like, I love it. Like say how good you are.
Yeah.
Say that. We need that. And I actually think people need to do more of that.
Yeah.
So like
in a certain way too.
However, it's also like don't be afraid to have ups and downs in your journey because that is a natural progression of life. And as long as you that's why people suffer is because they just don't accept reality for what it is. Yeah. And it's like, just accept reality for what it is, document that. That will be the best personal branding advice that I can give you. You know, it's like, anyway, so we've got to wrap it up because I think we're running out of time, but I want to end on one final question and then we will get gone out of here and come back for another one.
Absolutely.
But I want to know, out of your whole life, your biggest fuck up, and then how has that been your biggest blessing? Rapid fire.
Oh, biggest fuck up.
It's hard.
Do you want it to be in business?
You're like, I've had so many.
I've had so many. Do you reckon
I don't
in
care.
business?
You pick. If you want it to be business, it can.
Oh. Yeah, you know what? It is in business. It was You
know it's good when you laugh beforehand. You're like, oh, fuck.
I got caught in a certain way of thinking. And it was around the time I did NLP.
No offense to
No offense to NLP. There's some
Don't come for
incredible
us.
people that do NLP, and I'm grateful for my experience for doing it.
Yeah.
But I could tell that I was very just like preachy. It's like, how's that your perception, or perception is projection, and how is that you, and all these things, all these buzzwords that I'd heard.
Yeah.
And I was just so judgy, and I was trying to teach people, I was trying to coach my mates, I was trying to coach my family, and everyone was just like, fuck, you're annoying, cunt. Like, and I learned then that it's like, okay, so if I want people around me to change, I need to change myself, not project my shit all over everyone and preach the good word and come in and do NLP, and like I got so much from the experience, but I think I look back and I go, well, if I hadn't become that pest, I wouldn't then be able to reflect and see it in others now too, because everything I've lived, I now see it, and I don't judge it in the way of like, you're a piece of shit. I do have to judge it so I can then help them.
Judge,
people just do it. When they say no judgment, it's like,
I'm like, that's bullshit.
Come on, brother.
Like,
I remember Michael
judge.
Mojo said this is so funny on our podcast. He's like, oh yeah, none of these wankers not judging. How do you judge if it's a fucking iPhone or a piece of shit or something like that?
Literally.
It's like judgment creates safety for us as humans. If we didn't judge that that's a saber-toothed tiger,
exactly,
we don't run from it, Exactly. So I look as that time as a bit of a fuck up because I let everyone else make me become something I'm not. So now that I know I've had that experience, I'm like, I'm always going to be me. No matter what experiences and mentors and everyone I have around me, I'll take it with a grain of salt and let it mold me still as Trav. I'll take it in because at the end of the day, Tay, not to end this on a philosophical.
No, I love it. That's my whole vibe.
Nothing literally means anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Anyone listening, who the fuck decided this is called a microphone?
Yeah.
It's just, so if you don't have to get to nihilism where you're like, nothing matters. Well, it's like, what does it matter to you?
Yeah.
That's why values and virtues and all these things exist. You don't have to live by society standards in any regard, but you get to create your own world based off what you think is important. And if
if you did, you would have followed the football. And
literally,
then you wouldn't be here today coaching athletes.
Exactly. All right. And that's a cool way to finish, because I will say, and I will share this because he's almost there. I've just had an experience with a client for the last 6 months where he quit football. He was depressed. He was in a really bad way. And I've now spent 6 months with him, turned it all around, and now he's signing with a massive school in America. And it is probably one of my most proud moments I've had, because that's like me healing my exact giant wound that started this all. So by the time this launches, which is like a couple of weeks, I think.
It'll be like a week, 2 weeks.
Cool. He should be done by then. So shout out to my boy. You know
You'll
who
have
you
to
are.
tell me the timeline.
I'll definitely tell you.
Yeah.
And chat, but it's just, this is what this work leads to, guys. You get to have those moments where I'm now literally coaching professional athletes when I was going to be one and I threw it all away. And now, because of the experience the last 20 years, I get to help others not go through what I did. So that's pretty special.
Doors will always close because they were meant to.
Absolutely.
To stop trying to force it open. Like literally there's going to be 29 other doors.
Did you see what I said the other day where it's like, nothing's working out lately?
Oh,
but
yeah,
then I was
did
like,
see that.
but it's all working out perfectly.
Everything's working
I'm just
out.
being redirected.
Yeah,
everything's being redirected. And if I trust that redirection and intuition, it leads to cool shit no matter what.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because you're you and it couldn't work out any other way.
Absolutely.
Because it didn't. I fucking love that. Thank you so much for coming on today. All right. One last thing, tell the people where they can find you and then we are done.
Just on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram, The Technician. Reach out to me. I'm always happy to chat to anyone. It doesn't really matter who you are. So yeah, always happy to give some support and love and all the things.
Amazing.
Thank you so much,
I will
dude.
link everything below. You'll be able to follow him. Thank you guys. If you liked this, share this, tag us. Love you guys. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.